About 8 months ago, I parked my C10 for the winter. It's August now, but since then we got a lot of work done. We had the engine out, we refreshed it, put a cam in it, painted it, cleaned up the engine bay, redid all the wiring, got it looking good in there. Bodyman Logan did a ton of work getting this thing ready for paint, filling holes in the cab. There was a ton of damage on the bed that needed a lot of body work, a lot of paint prep, a lot of sanding, but we finally got it painted. There's still a lot of work to do before we're ready to cruise. Now the biggest and most time-consuming thing we have to do is paint correction. A lot of orange peel built up in the clear coat. We got to get that knocked down before we do anything. But we only have to do it to the bed. The truck is already completely done. You saw it. Wet sand, cut and polished. I even waxed it. It's ready to go. Just have to do the bed. It's going to take some time. Knock down all that orange peel. In addition to that, we have the entire interior that needs assembled, door panels and all. Got to put the grill back on. Got to put the bed back on. I can't do that alone. Got to hook up the filler next. The list goes on and on. We better get to work. All right. Now, quick disclaimer. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it worked pretty good on the truck. The first step is going to be knocking down the majority of this orange peel. And to do that, we're going to be dry sanding it with 800 grit on a DA. Kind of show you quick. And the reason we're doing this part dry, you can clearly see where the orange peel is. So the goal is going to be to make it look like the passenger side, which I already did. I'm going to work on sanding this with the DA, and we'll check back in. That's as far as we're gonna go on the bottom with the 800. I'm trying not to get too complacent and start worrying about spots like this, because I'm not trying to find out how far is too far. So little spots like that should level out a little bit more in the next step, and also the little pigtails like that from the DA, that'll come out in the next step as well. From here on out, it's wet sanding it by hand. I'm not gonna dig in too far on there. Went through right here a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on there. I messed up a little bit right there too. It's all good though. And I didn't really wrap around underneath. About as far as I wanna go there. Gonna do the top half quick. Top half is done. Now for this corner, it's a little sketchy, but what worked pretty good on the other side was turning the speed all the way down. And like right about there, like a 3. For whatever reason, it just like, cuts right into it. So I'm gonna quickly finish up this back quarter. Now that this side is completely done with the DA, we're gonna take some regular old 800 grit paper, wrap it around a foam block, and we're just gonna go over everything by hand and just kind of level it out. This will get rid of any of them pigtails and just give everything a nice uniform finish. All right. Now, if you'll notice, this body line right here is still glossy black. That's because I pretty much learned my lesson on the cab, not to sand through that. Might have happened a couple times. But it just works really nice the way the bed was shaped. You could actually lay the sander flat right here and flat right here, and it didn't. Now that both sides are completely done, I'm gonna do the tailgate quick. Now the cool thing about this is I don't have to worry about all this space in here because I have the trim piece that goes here. It feels really rough, so that would have been a pain, and to get in there and polish with the stuff too. Silverado for the win. Tailgate is done. So that means from here on out, we're wet sanding it by hand, starting tomorrow with 1000 grit. See you then. Wet sanding's easy enough. All we're doing is using 1000 grit paper to refine the 800 grit scratches. So it's gonna start turning white. That's the clear coat coming off. Behind the sandpaper, I have this foam thing, block, just to help keep even pressure everywhere. The bed is completely wet sanded up to 2500 grit. Each time we're refining the scratches a little bit more, so we started at 800 and then we used 1000 to get rid of the 800 grit scratches, 1500 to get rid of the 1000 grit scratches. You get it. And as you work your way up, you can see the paint start to come through a little bit more, clear coat starting to get glossy. So now's the fun part where we get to compound it, really see some results. I also got all the odds and ends sanded up to 2500. I went ahead and installed the roll pan and the fuel doors on the bed a while, now that we're ready to cut. We're gonna be working in small sections. I got a Chemical Guys yellow Hex Logic pad, heavy cut, and Meguiar's 110 cutting compound. All right, let's do it. Now we'll just buff away. And there it is, no more orange peel. I went to wrap around the back here, hit the tailgate quick. Got most of the roll pan done. But then my polisher here decided to take a dump. So that's junk. So quick change of plan. We're gonna get the bed out of the way and then pull the truck up here, start doing truck stuff, interior, whatnot. Fire it up. Settle down. Shit, park. Starting with these trim pieces. This one's already on. We gotta put on the side ones, the bottom one, then we'll stick the bumper on. Now we're getting the grille and front turn signals installed. Throwing the headlight bezels quick. Now that we got the front end pretty much put together, it should start looking a lot more like a truck. See if stuff still works. No marker or side marker. Well, that works. Could just be the bulb. Ooh, that's nice and hot. What's going on in there? Good enough. See if I can manage to put this front bumper back on. All right, let's tighten them up. Hey, you checked what size they were before you hand tightened them, right? Oh, no? Great. Woo, sucks. Shit. Yeah, brother. Get on out of here. Good and tight. Sweet. Front done for now. No, that's done. Front's looking good. The only thing left to do on the outside is the drip rail and door handles, mirrors, and locks. I already got that done on the other side. Got all new stuff. New door handle, new lock cylinder. First thing I'm gonna do, put these little stickums on the door. That way there's no metal on metal contact happening. Here's the new unit, and one thing we need to do is transfer this rod off of the old one. Now, something I had to do on the passenger side, the black push button here, I had to trim a little bit where this metal part contacts the black plastic. It was making the rod sit a little bit higher like that. When you lock the door, it was putting a little bit of tension on it so you couldn't unlock the door. To give us a little bit more room, I'm gonna get this door lock stem out of the way. Feed the door handle in, push in the button. Now we just want to get this rod down like that, and we're just going to try and get it hooked in. Now that we have it pointed the right way, we got to get this stupid little clip on here. Pull the door handle a little bit, and that's going to raise up that little latch. We still got to get that clip pushed up so it locks that rod into that hole. I think I finally got that stupid clip in place. Close the door and find out. How do I unlock it? Where's that rod? Oh, beautiful. Lock it. No problem. Now the mirror is the easiest thing on the thing. Put on this plastic thing. Last thing we have to do on the outside is install the drip rail. Tiny little 7mm holding this thing on here. Now I know it looks ugly, but this gets chrome trim clipped onto the outside. Kind of tight. That'll work. Gonna start getting the interior buttoned up. I know it seems a little counterproductive, but I'm gonna start by removing the seat. That way we'll be able to do our new seat belts and then get the carpet cleaned up too. Let's see if we can get this to... Oh yeah, that was easy. Oh, you're in the way a little bit. Let me get the steering wheel out quick. Alright, we gotta get that thing off. Hopefully that's good enough. Only having two on there. Pulling out the bezel quick. Now all that, just so I can replace the shift indicator, because there's no needle on it and the track is all bent up, and I tried to save it, but ain't happening. Now this is pretty simple technology. This just wraps around the column, and that's what I'm gonna be doing most of the time, just throwing it down and drive. That looks pretty right on. So we'll put this back together quick. I wasn't gonna show this part because I thought I was just gonna be cutting and splicing wires up here. But for the dome light, I got new wires, and I thought you'd have to connect them yourself. But they actually have the factory connectors on here, and turns out it plugs in right here behind the speaker. So no wiring required. The old one melted a little bit, so that's why I'm replacing it. So I'm just gonna take these old ones, zip tie it to the new ones. We'll send it up through. All right, maybe not. Let's see if we can pull these through this way. That ain't good. Let me go get a piece of wire, see if we can do it that way. I am not prepared to admit how long that just took, but I got it. We'll finish that up after the headliner's in, and we can get the dome light back in there. All right, I went ahead and put the seat belts in quick. They're looking good. Black instead of red, and it was technically made for the truck, but the hardware they provided was fine thread. All these bolts were coarse thread, so I reused all them. And then this setup was a little bit different than the factory. There was a big piece of plastic trim over the old thing, and it's a lot bigger. The new one is slim and it's black, so I don't think I even need to worry about trying to find something to cover that up. Now what I'm gonna do is put the rest of the interior back together, get it cleaned up, vacuum, get the seat back in, and then I'll show you what I'm doing with that steering wheel. Interior is clean again. The wheel, I'm gonna be putting the factory wheel back on. Don't get me wrong, I like this one, and I like the little bow tie thing I had in it, but I just feel like it's too deep dished. I don't know, it's kind of in your lap, especially after you put on the adapter. The factory one sits back quite a bit more, and it's thin. I like a nice thin wheel, like such. But I did booger up the horn thing when I put that other one in, so I got stuff to fix that. And I got one of these new covers, so I'm not sure how this is supposed to come off, but whoop. The part I'm replacing is behind this gear looking thing. I don't even know how that comes off. That's crazy. Back again for another day. Apparently you need a special tool for this lock ring thing. I'm just gonna skip it for now. I'm not that worried about having a horn. So we're just gonna get the wheel on so we can keep her moving. Torque this to spec. Right about there. Throw on the cap. Cool. Moving on. Interior is pretty much wrapped up except for the door panels and the wing windows, and that's kind of what's holding us back at this point. I got stuff to completely rebuild the wing windows, new seals, new hardware, new latches, everything. And that will probably take a while. See how we're doing on the list. I did throw in this spring bolt real quick, and I threw some paint on the wiper arms a while. Those are up there drying. Yeah, we're doing pretty good on the list. I did run out to Harbor Freight. I got another polisher, so as soon as the wing windows are done, we'll finish up the bed. We're getting close. We're getting close. Here's the situation. I was rebuilding the wing window. It was going pretty good. I got the rubber set, but then I realized I only have one piece of glass. I broke one of them, and I had an extra wing window, so I thought I had an extra piece of glass, thinking they were the same, but they're not. They're a little bit curved for either side, so I have two driver's side windows, not a passenger side. We're gonna keep moving. We can't get hung up on this. Maybe I'll go to the junkyard next weekend. I know there's a Suburban over there. We could probably pull some wing windows out of it, unless I can get some ordered and brought in. But honestly, that was a pain in the butt trying to get them new seals in there and putting the wing window together. I'd rather just put it in an assembly. We're just gonna put the doors together like such. Only drive on nice days for now. I mean, it kind of sucks that it's not going to be 100% complete, but that's where we're at this point. We got to keep moving. So I'm going to throw on this door panel. I'm going to try to convince Courtney to come down here, help me get the windshield installed. Interior is done, sort of. Time for the windshield. I've never done anything like this before. We'll see how it goes. We got our rubber seal and then the lock bead. Got most of the seal in place. Got some slack at the top there. I did end up removing the trim. That way I can see the lip a lot easier and get to the corners a lot better. We got to pull all that slack out of the corners here. That should be flush against. That should be flush down here too. Going a lot better than in... Whoa. It's going a lot better than I thought it would. I already got this corner tightened up, both of them on the driver's side. A little bit less slack in the middle. Now we just got to do these two corners on the passenger side. Got it. Finally, corners are sitting a lot better. No gaps on either end. Now we're ready to attempt the windshield, which could be a whole other can of worms, but see what we got to do. This little tool helped a lot. This little plastic boop, 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 boop thing. Windshield's about to go in. I lubed the channel up with some grease, I guess. White grease. And Courtney's going to help me put it in. All right, we don't know what we're doing. We're just gonna, I know, it is pretty nice. If this doesn't work, I'm not trying again. We're gonna hire somebody. How the heck are you supposed to do it up top? This is crazy. Yeah, I don't understand that. Me neither. All right, give us a minute. Well, boys, you can't win them all. This did not go well. The windshield cracked right here from pushing on it, trying to get this top seal to in front of the windshield, prying on it and whatnot. We were at it for a long time. I don't think me and Courtney are going to attempt to do this again. I'll be out $100 some for a new windshield, and same thing could just happen again. So I might be looking into having someone come out and replace it. Let's see if I can you see the crack? Maybe. We'll get the truck out of the way and We'll bring the bed up here. We'll see how the Harbor Freight polisher fares. See if we can get the bed finished up at least and installed. Fresh out the box. See how it does. Spin her up. Man, that thing vibrates a heck of a lot. Holy crap. It's gonna be fun. All right, I got the bed completely compounded. I don't think we're gonna get it mounted tonight. I'm gonna need some extra hands for that, and no one's around. It's all good though. We'll have to continue this project anyway, since we had our complications with the windshield and other things. But the truck is nearly done. It's starting to look like a truck again. Looks sweet, getting excited. Anyway, make sure you stay tuned for when we finish up. That is gonna wrap it up for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Take it easy. See you in the next one.